absolutely legendary weekend. I tried to get on stream. For some reason, stream's not working. But I'm going to tell you guys all about it here on today's episode of the Free Three. We've been absolutely raking in college basketball. Conference tournament actions here. We still have more to go this week before the big dance. Let's get into these winners today. This is the Free Three.
I love it, Noble. Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
But getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake.
Why are we going to go
in such a weak AFC South?
Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association.
Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Good morning. What is up, my friend? It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and get to that money. Now, I am just ecstatic this morning, and the reason why that is, it's for several reasons. But one of the reasons is because it's my favorite time of the year. We are fully in March. We have upsets happening. I hate that my team, Chattanooga, was one of the teams that got upset, my alma mater, yesterday. But we're in March, baby. We've got basketball literally on all day for like the next 2 weeks. It's just the best time of year, besides maybe like the rain that's going on outside, but you know what they say, there's the rain in the fall or what are we in the right before the spring brings the spring flowers or whatever. So that's what we've been doing, blossoming here on the channel. And the reason why I say that is because I've been dilating in a lot of 2-team steams, 3-team steams, plus 100 money line parlays, and they've been absolutely printing us money, especially on Friday and Saturday. And on today's show, I'm going to tell you guys a quick recap on how we did over the weekend, and then I'm going to give you guys 3 best bets today in college basketball. I'm not touching NBA right now. If you want NBA plays, then you have to follow us on Action Network at Noble Living. Sometimes I might have one maybe later on in the week, but right now I'm in full college basketball mode, and right now for the NBA, I'm literally looking for player props that just don't make sense, and I'm gonna just keep taking it over and over and over until like it kind of misses. Like DeMar DeRozan, as long as they give me 3.5 rebounds, I don't care if it's at minus 140. I'm gonna keep taking it. He had another 7 rebounds last night. I put that on the action, so like that's really what I'm looking for. Those plays that are kind of consistent, but I'm not really labbing NBA right now. And the reason why that is because if you're hot in one area, stick there. Let's look at what we've been doing here in college basketball. Yesterday, we did have a 3-2 day. I'm going to break that down here in a second. Over the last week, we're up over $1,000. We went 20-10 last week. Last 30 days, up to over $2,000. And if we look up here, what we did on the last week, especially on Friday on Action Network, we're generating the picks here. It doesn't show us the last 24 hours, so we get to go back a few days. On Friday, you can see here, 3-team steam, plus 114. Delaware, Miami, Marshall, smacked. The second one that I gave you guys was Hofstra and Radford. That smacked. The other one, Kent State, UNC Asheville, and VMI. This Kent State game, that thing was a sweat, let me tell you. I was watching that game, biting my fingers, hoping Kent State would have pulled it out, and they did. And the Miami team total under 105.5. I mean, we took the over 105.5. It landed on 104. Good read, just a bad miss. It happens. We had a chance to hit a shot. 3-in-1 day on Friday. You can't be mad at it. Then we took the momentum from Friday into Saturday. And look at what we did here on Saturday. Again, you got to follow us on Action Network. You got to be following us on Noble Living on Twitter as well or on X, because this is where the plays are given out. Because sometimes I don't get to a video on the weekend. If you guys don't know, I DJ. So like a lot of times on weekends, I'm doing a wedding, I'm doing a brunch. There's other things that I'm going to have a lot of times going on the weekends. So sometimes I can't give you guys a video. So I'm giving you guys the plays. And on Saturday, I gave you the first 3-team steam, Chat, High Point, Central Connecticut. That smacked. You guys can DM me as well. My boy DM me. He said, I live in Connecticut. I can't take them. Who should I replace it with? I gave him Georgia. That smacked. The next one, Princeton, Yale, Louisville, smacked. The next one, Bradley, George Mason. I should have done Vermont full game. I got cute, did Vermont first half, but it missed. If you took the first half, a full game, it would have smacked. Continuing, Creighton, Arkansas, Utah Valley, smack. UC San Diego, BYU, Utah, this is St. Thomas, smack. That's what was Saturday. That was Saturday, fam. That's literally 15, 16 games I gave you guys that hit. And the one that missed was a cheeky first half where I got too freaking cute. And that was a full game winner. Don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. And then on yesterday's day, let's see what we did yesterday. Okay, so they showed us yesterday. We got a little bit of yesterday here. So we got the Bucknell wrong. They got upset by Navy. We're gonna be on the wrong side of a few upsets. It happens. But most times, the higher seed, the better team does their job. There's not as many upsets in March as you think there are. They just get all the news and attention. Same thing here yesterday. If Chattanooga's best player wasn't hurt, they probably win this game. This was an overtime sweat in both legs. We started off the day 0-2 here, but if we look at how we finished the day, we put together another 3-team steam here, right here with A&M Corpus Christi, UNC Wilmington, and North Colorado. That hit, and then I get another late night one at plus 162. Charles of College, all favorites, that hit, and then I added DeMar DeRozan. That hit. But I'm not even excited about what all hit this weekend. You know what I'm excited about, guys? Is I've been doing the ladder challenge for several years. Let me kind of just share the screen here. I've been doing the ladder challenge for several years, and we see Calling Our Shot. We see a lot of people do the ladder challenge. And it's one of those things that for me, since I ever got introduced to it as a bettor, I've always just personally wanted to get it done. I've done $1,000 to $10,000 in 10 days. I've done a bunch of stuff. I've made good money betting. But I've never done the $10 to $10,000 in 10 picks or 10 days, as they say, and been able to finish. I've ended on 9 days before. I've lost on 8 days before. Like, it's happened. It's happened. But you know what? I've decided this weekend I was going to go for it. And you could see here real quickly, I want to share with you guys first. I didn't even tweet about it. You can see right here. I hit the 4-teamer with Creighton, Arkansas State, George Mason, and Bradley for the win, the 5,000. And then I took the 5,700 and I threw it into St. Thomas, UC San Diego, BYU, Utah Valley. The same teams I gave you, St. Thomas, Utah Valley. Yeah, I didn't give you guys San Diego. I didn't give you BYU because sometimes I'm not going to throw those huge favorites in there that I would take personally. But I was able to hit, and that's smack. I was able to hit my first ever ladder challenge. 10 picks into 10,000 picks, and I did it in 3 days from college basketball. And I'm just ecstatic, and I'm geeked. And the reason why that is because you guys, Nick, Shark, Ron, like the people who've been tapped into the channel, you guys been seeing from baseball when we used to do hitter parlays, football, we used to do tease down lines. We've been working on these ladder legs for a while here on the channel. Sometimes we go away from it, sometimes we come back to it, but we always try to do these bankroll builders, and it kind of finally paid off in a way where it's like we were able to string them together enough. Now, obviously, I didn't give out every single one that I did because I didn't give out 10 in a row here on the channel, but you guys see the principle. You walked in the journey with me, and it was ecstatic, and I'm glad that some of the picks that I put out, we were able to actually cash it in together. And today, we're going to keep the momentum going by diving into the college basketball slate a little bit here. Not as many games. That's why you have to choose your window tight. Every March, I get my bankroll ready for March because I know this is when I make my most money. Sometimes for some of you guys, it's going to be baseball season. For other people, it's going to be the beginning of NFL season. Whatever the case may be, you got to get ready for your season. So as now conference tournaments are going to start dying down, we're going to have the Power 5 conferences as well. But some of the other, we're not going to have as many games. So the spots and the money line parlays are going to become less and less. All right, until we get back to the big dance and we have a bunch of games in a day. So for today's games, what we're going to look at here, friends, real fast, is the first one is going to be a side, actually. And we're going to go down to the SoCon, Wofford and Furman. You guys know these are two teams I'm very familiar with. If you're tapped into the channel, then you guys know I follow the SoCon from, my days of covering the Chattanooga Mocs when I was at school there. And this total, guys, is too low at 137.5. That's the first best bet of the day. We're going to lock this one in, Wofford and Furman. Now, the reason why I say that is if we scroll down and look at what both of these teams have done thus far in a conference tournament, Furman has won 2 games in the conference tournament. They beat Sanford 95-78, went over 154. Then they beat Chattanooga in overtime yesterday, started to my mocks, 80-77. It went over 145.5. Meanwhile, for Wofford, they went under against ETSU 72-60, but ETSU is not really that type of team, in all honesty, that likes to push the pace. And I think Wofford was a team that knew defensively they would have to get a stop. But then last night against VMI, 85-65, that game went over 139.5. Now, if we go to KenPom here, Both of these offenses are very efficient, especially Furman. And I love this time of year because now regular people who don't really tap into college basketball throughout the year really get to see some of these stars, some of these players that are in mid-major schools that can really hoop. So for Furman, it's P.J. Smith. If you guys have watched him so far in the SoCon tournament, dude's been an absolute bucket. He can gain separation with the best of them. His his moves are crisp. But the beautiful thing about Furman is they move without the ball. They cut a lot. That's why they're 136 in adjusted efficiency. Let me zoom in a little bit here. They're 75th in effective field goal percentage, 73rd in three-point percentage, 2-point percentage at 111. That's really good numbers for a school like Furman, a mid-major school, and defensively, they're not too bad either. Now, if we go down to Wofford here, we can see that they're 74th in adjusted efficiency, 89th in effective field goal percentage. Even though they're much slower of a tempo pace at 338, they're 60th in 2-point percentage, and they crashed the offensive glass 22nd. So basically, I'm expecting two strong offenses. They're playing their third game in 3 days for both of these teams. They know that neither of them were really supposed to be here because in the SoCon, the number 1 seed Chattanooga was eliminated. Number 2 seed UNCG was eliminated by VMI. The number 3 seed Sanford was eliminated by Furman. Furman beat Chattanooga and Sanford. And then the 4 seed was eliminated by, I don't know. And so we literally got the 5 seed Furman and like the 6 seed Wofford. Both of these teams here know that this is their shot. This is their time. And tired legs, fatigue, typically players tend to step up offensively. We got strong offensives here. Don't overthink it. Over 137.5. We're locking that in as our first best bet of the day. Now, our second pick of the day is also going to be in the college basketball slate. And I've been looking for some moneyline parlays, and I do have one that I am going to craft for today. But the other bet that we're going to lock in is going to be a late night matchup. And we're going to go to San Fran. You can see that. I don't know why Action doesn't even have this one up. So I'm just going to plug it in a little bit later. But we're going to go San Fran plus 14.5. So we go to ESPN real quick. It's the last game of the day at 11:30 p.m. right here. And the West Coast Conference, it's the semifinals. And this is one of those matchups for me. If you want to take San Fran first half, I'm not opposed to it. Why? Because San Fran played last night. So let's go look them up real quickly here on KenPom so we could take a look at this. Now, San Francisco last night played Washington State. They won that game 86-75. Now they get to play Gonzaga, and you can see KenPom has this as a 10-point loss for them. That's in that 14.5 number. I will take that. This is going to be the third time these teams are facing off. You can see they lost to Gonzaga by 20 at home. They lost to Gonzaga by 11 on the road. But besides that, they have not really suffered too many conference losses besides a few hiccups here, losing to St. Mary's. That's the number 1 team in the conference in the regular season. So that's explainable. But San Francisco gets a chance now in a conference that's wide open, and Gonzaga has not played a game yet. Keep in mind, the West Coast Conference, the way that the bracket is set up is essentially you have the semifinal team, like the top 2 teams are automatically in the semifinals. So St. Mary's is playing their first game today, and same thing with Gonzaga. San Fran got to play yesterday. That tune-up game, that warm-up game, that's not like those legs that have been sitting, that's an advantage. But the other advantage that I like here, besides just the offensive numbers, 88th in adjusted efficiency, 85th in effective field goal percentage, 49th in 2-point percentage, and then 51st in defense. Besides the numbers, so this is a very good San Francisco team. And I know Gonzaga's used to being, the favorite person in the spot. I think they win the game. It's just a lot of points in my personal opinion. But also what you get to look at here is this right here. Pepperdine. The 4-14 team, the team that's won 3 games already in the West Coast Conference. Because remember, it's every seed. It's like 2 seeds by, 2 seeds by, 2 seeds by, 2 seeds by. So for Pepperdine, they've already had to play Portland. They had to beat Oregon State, upset them. They had to upset Santa Clara last night. So this is their 4th game in 4 nights. If Pepperdine is able to win this game, or let alone keep it close, what do you think that does for San Fran's ego? What do you think that does for their emotion? They're going to be watching this game because that's the game before this one. That's at 9 o'clock, and then this one's going to be tipping approximately 11:30 when that game gets finished. So for me, Pepperdine's been the story so far this tournament. They're playing with all the confidence. St. Mary's is the type of team that plays so slow that can keep any team in the game. If they keep this game close and San Fran sees that, and you've lost to Gonzaga twice, and both of these games have been you could have been somewhat competitive, and this is your third shot at it on a neutral floor in Las Vegas. I like San Fran plus 14.5. We're going to lock in on action. For some reason, they don't have that up right now. That's what we're taking. Gonzaga, this is their tournament. They should win it every single year, but the other teams have kind of caught up, in all honesty. And it's not a toss-up now, but at the same time, they can be upset. It's not just a guaranteed smash spot like years prior. So our third and final pick of the day is going to be our moneyline parlay of the day. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let me pull up the full slate because Action doesn't have it. You can do super heavy favorites. So you can do like your base leg, which I'm going to show you what the base leg is. And then if you want to do Gonzaga on the money line, if you want to do St. Mary's on the money line, I'm not touching any game, in my personal opinion, where I think there's going to be an upset. Now, there is a coin flip game here, but I'll tell you guys how we can do it, okay? And we're going to cook it up here on DraftKings. So the parlay that we're going to go with here, and let's look at the odds value on these picks. So is Townsend at minus 258 on the money line against Delaware. And then I'm going to throw in Furman at minus 125. Now, this is just because two teams have been doing good for us. And again, if you want to do the latter leg, you get to plus 100. Furman in and of itself is strong enough to be just its own play. You don't need a parlay. It's minus 125. You guys know I never do that, right? I never do that. If you want another pick, do the Corpus Christi. Those three picks get you to plus 284. You can do just Corpus Christi and Townsend. You can see that gets you to plus 113. I like that. Corpus Christi worries me just a little bit. I think they win the game just because they played last night. Northwestern State hasn't played, right? The winner of this game does play McNeese. I thought that the winner of this game would play the other seed, which would be, I don't think it's Nichols. I forget what the other seed, I think I actually have the bracket right here. In the Southland, the other seed would be Lamar. So this is where we are right here. A&M, Corpus Christi, and Northwestern State. So I think they win this game just because they had that tune-up game yesterday. But you just knowing that you're going to face McNeese next, it would have been a little bit different if you know you're going to be facing Lamar, and then you're going to have a chance to take down the big dog at one swing. But I think if you wanted to take a swing for you want to go with the big dog, you go with the big dog, right? I think that, but in my personal opinion, I'm just going to go with Furman here. I think that the other team that's just going to win this game, Furman's offense, they're the team of destiny right now. They beat the number 1 seed in Chattanooga. They beat the number 3 seed in Sanford, but Sanford is really probably the second best team in the entire conference. They've got the playmaker and beat PJ, and this is the type of Furman team that can get a favorable matchup as like a 13 seed against a 4 seed and upset some people. It's been a good run for Wofford. They got lucky because VMI just upset 3 teams or 2 teams, but and VMI wasn't in any competition yesterday. Furman might get fatigue legs late, but I just like them here. I don't want to touch Oakland. I know I'm talking about some of the other games, but I just want to kind of give you guys my analysis here. Oakland is a well-coached team. Their coach has been there since 1992 or 1998, something like that. They made the NCAA tournament last year. You guys remember Jack Kokel. This is a team that they don't have to be the number 1 seed to get to the tournament. Their coach knows how to get it done during that time of year. He gets them fired up. I don't want to touch this game. I would not be surprised if Oakland wins this game. Arkansas State, I lean them over Troy, but again, I don't want to touch that. UNC Wilmington, they can be upset. I like them, but Charleston has such an efficient offense. Anything can happen any night. And that's like I said, if you want to just do St. Mary's, if you want to do Gonzaga, I can do that as well. I don't know enough about Portland State, if I'm being honest, to take them here. So I'm just going to stay off of that. And I like Cleveland State here as well tonight. But again, I just don't want to touch that game. I like Furman, Townsend. That's what we're locking in at plus 140 odds. You can see 149 or plus 150. You can see that on DraftKings. But if you wanted to back up, you could do Texas A&M Corpus Christi. All right. So that is it for me today, my friends. I appreciate y'all for tapping into the free through this morning. Real quickly, we're going to go Townsend and Furman on the money line at plus 149 or plus 150. Then we're also going to go Furman and Wofford over. We locked that in at 137.5. I didn't show you guys, but KenPom has the final score of this game, 72-71. So I get you to like 143. So we're getting pretty good value there. And then finally, we're going to go San Fran plus 14.5. I just think that's just way too many points for a Gonzaga team that's just not been that good this season. And that is what we're locking in for these three teams for today, or I should say 4 teams, 3 plays. And then also keep in mind, we do have our future of Clemson to make the Final Four at plus 1,600. I'm going to have another future tomorrow. I think there's going to be one that I want to lock in before the bigger conferences start, because I don't want anything to disrupt it from the Big 12 or the Big 10 conference, things of that nature. So I'm going to lock in one. So I'll let you guys know tomorrow before one of the bigger conferences start, all right? I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And hey, drop a comment below. If we sweep the board, then guess what? We'll give somebody some money, all right, man? I appreciate you for tapping in every single day. It is your boy Noble Living. And as always, dictate your fate, get to that cheddar. And I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video. Later, guys.